last night, Kamala Harris delivered her first major speech after losing the election. She attacked Trump personally, attacked the policies. Any comment from the White House on that?
Well, I think it was a great reminder to the American people of just how blessed we all are that the leader sitting in the Oval Office today is President Donald Trump and not President Kamala Harris. It was a helpful reminder of just what a travesty and a tragedy that would have been. It would have been the end of America. And it gives me a chance to bring this whole thing home. If we continued on this road of radical regulation, choking off American energy, sending our supply chains to foreign countries, taxing our economy to death, pushing this cancerous woke ideology on our children, ending merit, ending scientific innovation, ending public safety, allowing, everyone goes to the stores these days, everything's locked up, criminals roam free, law-abiding citizens under the previous administration were punished while gangbangers were given red carpet treatment. Democrats, of course, are still giving gangbangers red carpet treatment. And then the border invasion. If those policies had continued, it would have been the end of the American Republic. And the only thing Americans want to hear from Kamala Harris is an apology for joining Joe Biden, and remember, she was the border czar, joining Joe Biden in aiding and abetting the invasion of our country.
Of all the darkly hilarious moments, him not understanding Photoshop. Come on. I mean, it has to be up there.
Yeah. See, the thing with that is I don't know quite how to peg that. Obviously, this is one of, you can kind of boil everything Donald Trump does down to the 3 Roy Cohn rules.
Right.
Always attack, deny everything, always claim victory.
Yep.
That essentially describes everything that Donald Trump has ever done and said. But with this, I wonder whether he's been legitimately fooled or he knows that it was Photoshopped and doesn't want to admit that it's Photoshopped. I think the most likely explanation is Stephen Miller slipped this photo to him and said, yeah, look, it's real. It's, yeah, totally, old man. It's MS-13 right there on the knuckles. Yeah, you can see it clearly. And
Stephen Miller, who told him he won 9-0 at the Supreme Court, you mean?
Yeah. Right.
I mean, Bob,
and that's the other thing. That proves the theory, because that was another case where Stephen Miller absolutely told Donald Trump that it was 9-0 in favor of the Trump administration, not in favor of, the other thing. So that was a case where he was tricked again by wily Stephen Miller.
Yeah, wasn't that in the ABC interview too? He's like, the Constitution makes the law, and Jim's like, no, I've got lawyers. I don't know. Just about him defying. I mean, for the first time, he admitted, yes, of course he could bring Garcia home if he wanted to, which his lawyers are like, no, don't say that, right? So previously he said, oh, it's out of my hands. It's up to President, Buki.
Yeah.
Ukulele.
Well, this is
whatever his name is. And now he's like, oh, yeah, sure, I could bring. I mean, that is clearly, we are in mid-constitutional crisis. He said, yes, I could bring him back. I'm not going to.
And he will not do it.
Right.
The art of the deal guy can't get a prisoner back that he deliberately sent to El Salvador, with the blessing of the Knight of the Roxbury guy, who's evidently president of El Salvador. So these guys can't
what
possibly.
Is love? Okay, sorry. Yeah. Don't hurt me. Okay, go ahead.
Right. Absolutely. He should be managing a club somewhere.
Yeah.
But, it's one of those things where they can easily get this guy freed and refuse to do it. But Donald believes that the Supreme Court said, oh, no, you don't have to free him. 9-0. You don't have to do it. That's because Stephen Miller, there's a whole bunch of people around there. Remember the, what is it, Slim Jim or something? They were doing screwing around with Bigfoot or something.
Yeah.
There was a whole series of commercials where they're messing with Bigfoot.
Yeah.
I think all these people around Donald Trump are messing with the old man.
Yeah.
I think they're just manipulating him. We've seen this happen with tariffs.
I think they're so brazen after immunity, Bob. Like, they won on a solid wall of lies that they knew were lies. So they're like, yeah, we're just going to say, something's not Photoshop. This clearly is provably Photoshop. Like, it's
right.
I mean, you retweeted the Onion, and I thought, I literally have to check with Chris sometimes. Is this an Onion headline? And I mean, right? This ICE agents wait at the edge of delivery table to deport newborn. And you're like, is that an Onion, or is that going to be could be real tomorrow?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. It's that story in particular could be something that we could see later this afternoon.
Would you think
that story popping up on Rolling Stone?
ICE deports U.S. citizen baby with cancer? Do you think that was going to be a real headline? Right?
Oh God. And it's not the first time that that's happened, by the way. I mean, we're talking about human rights atrocities now. There was a kid deported with metastatic cancer.
Yeah.
I think stage
4.
3, stage 4.
Yeah.
And then there was another story maybe about a month ago that's got lost in the memory hole where there was a kid from Texas who was on his way to receiving his treatment. This child was on his way with his parents to receive cancer treatment. And I think it was an emergency doctor's visit. And that's when ICE picked him up and deported him.
Yeah.
And so now they're using this excuse. Well, we don't want to do family separation now. So if we deport the parents, we have to deport the kids along with them. And so that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, just everything is done with this kind of sinister, mustache twirling, loophole exploiting nonsense.
Yeah. You retweeted Ron Filipowski, who said anyone Trump aligned or Trump adjacent is toxic to the rest of the world. We're the only country with enough people think the malignant, narcissist, criminal, moronic, two-bit con man should be in charge. It's the same reason why televangelists have always thrived here. I mean, my God, the Canada envy, right? Other 98 said, not me being jealous that Canada just elected Mr. Rogers to run their country while we're here stuck with Biff Tannen from Back to the Future 2. Caterpillar says, Canada gets a normal leader. We're out here waiting for Trump to spring Tiger King from the slammer to be the new Secretary of Defense. I mean, it's... Right, I think I had read this one before, Bob. Canada just elected a guy with a PhD in economics from Oxford. Mexico elected a woman with a PhD in energy engineering. The USA elected a 2-time impeached con man who bankrupted 4 casinos and has 34 felony convictions. Mexico and Canada really do border on stupidity. I mean, they do. They do better. I mean, it is so unbelievably embarrassing every day. Isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. But I'm glad to see that, you know, the other 2 nations that share this continent with us are reacting in the right way. Because it could have gone the other direction. I mean, it looked like for a while there, at least according to the polls, that the conservative candidate Pierre Poilievre was going to, did I get that right?
Yeah.
Pierre Poilievre.
Le Bois?
Poilievre.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What Chris said.
Yeah. I didn't even attempt it.
Yeah. Well, it looked like that guy was going to win for
Yeah.
a period of time there.
Almost 30
And
points at
because
one
of
point.
Donald Trump. Yeah. This is another case where unintended consequences of Donald Trump being a D, you know, on the nationals or the international stage manages to elect people in other countries who will vociferously and forcefully oppose Donald Trump. And that's what we're going to get with Mark Carney, obviously, as we've seen in the past weeks.
You made a good point, Bob, on Blue Sky. You said the previous months of spineless genuflecting will age very, very badly because you retweeted someone that said nothing to be scared of here in political terms. One of the least popular presidents is now even less popular than he was in his first term. People need to come out from under their rocks. And you had said before, congressional Republicans should be terrified. Whether they actually are is a different story. It seems like they're staying in the Toonces car, doesn't it?
Right. Yeah, and that Toonces car is about to go over the cliff any second now. And yet there are still, I hate to say it, members of Congress who are voting, Democratic members of the Senate who are voting to confirm. For example, David Perdue was confirmed as the ambassador to China with, I don't know, a dozen Democratic votes in the Senate. I don't understand this other than to imagine, and this may be my empathy getting in the way of serious analysis here, but maybe they're just all terrified. Maybe what Lisa Murkowski was saying about fear of reprisal is front of mind for people who, I mean,
we're
Cory
all
Booker
afraid.
did a whole sit-in with Hakeem Jeffries on the front steps of the Capitol, and then turned around and voted to confirm David effing Perdue to be ambassador to China.
Yeah. David, David? David, ew. Bob, we're all scared. That's going to be the story of our times, is who modeled courage and who modeled cowardice. We're all afraid.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like any of us are going to get, through this unscathed. I mean,
Well, I mean, he's fading fast in the polls. I mean, there's no reason to keep doing it at this point, whether it's Amazon or anyone else. Gretchen Whitmer showing up on the tarmac yesterday to give Donald Trump a great big hug. I mean, these are things I'm having a hard time rationalizing this kind of behavior, especially now when he's at 39%. 52% of people in a recent poll said that he's doing a poor or terrible job as president.
And our base is resonating to the J.B. Pritzkers and the other people that are pushing back at every turn. Not, unfortunately, the Newsoms and the Whitmers. I mean, you retweeted, Aaron Rupar said, Schumer on the Democratic response to Trump's shakedown of Harvard. We sent him a very strong letter just the other day asking 8 very strong questions. I think if he says strong enough times,
that does it.
Right. And Bob, you said if he ignores the strongly worded letter, we'll give him the comfy chair.
And then the soft cushions. You know, they're going to poke him with soft cushions or something. It's the Spanish Inquisition from Monty Python.
Yeah.
It's like, this is not going to do any good, and it makes Chuck Schumer seem like he's, bringing a feather to a gunfight. It just doesn't make any sense why he would still. And I guess we can only go back to the explanation. Maybe Chuck Schumer is terrified. I don't know. But if that's the case, he's got to find it. He's got to find his guts. They all do.
Yeah.
Because it's going to get to the point where it's going to be too late.
Not up to me, but I just keep saying I wish he would take a page from Pelosi and say it's just time to pass the leadership baton. We're not saying, it's not up to us. Whether he gets out of Congress, that's up to his constituents. That's not the point. The point is that, you've got to feel the urgency of this moment. I think, like, J.B. Pritzker, man, has been, I think, hitting all the right notes, on the urgency of this moment. So, and that's not
J.B. Pritzker, also
Buttigieg.
Tim Walz.
Yeah.
I think Tim Walz has been outstanding.
Cory Booker, there's all different, Bernie and AOC, every part of the age spectrum in our party, but it's the urgency. Here's another Onion headline: unpopular Pete Hegseth forced to drink lunch alone. Again,
drink lunch alone? Oh, that's funny.
Again, real or Onion? We're going to do a new quiz on the show. Real or Onion headline?
Yeah. I mean, it's a shame that this stuff gets lost in the mix among all the other atrocities, that we have a major national security breach in the visage of the Secretary of Defense.
Yeah.
This guy is completely vulnerable. His phone number was found all over the internet on sports betting sites and places like that. Like, it's just, and knowing that it's so easy to find him, we can't help but to go to the fact that The Atlantic reported that they just had Donald Trump's personal cell phone number, too. So if Ashley Parker and Michael Shearer from The Atlantic have Donald Trump's personal cell phone number, everyone has Donald Trump's personal cell phone number. I was thinking about doing some prank calls to the old man. Recording them.
Some old Jerky Boys bits. Bring your glasses and your
bits.
Shoes. Come on over, Mr.
Right,
President.
Saul Rosenberg. You can call up Donald Trump on his cell phone and ask him about lawsuits.
But I mean, the fact that he was asked about Pete Hegseth, he's like, I think he'll get it together. Oh, that's what you want to hear about the guy with the nuclear launch codes. I think he'll sober up and get it together soon.
Yeah. I mean, I can't help but to wonder if it's deliberate at this point, if they're just deliberately leaving the front door open, say, yeah, come on in, fine. Whatever, we're going to tell you all this stuff anyway, so you might as well just come in and take it yourself.
Yeah.
Make yourself at home while you're here.
So just one last one. You retweeted Bob Schooley, because I just can't, this is the whole point, whether, I'm talking about what J.D. Pritzker's been saying. You cannot normalize this monster, to your point. Yeah. Right, about even hugging him on the tarmac, Bill Maher, Joe and Mika, whatever. Bob Schooley said, I'll never get over how many in the media seem surprised a con artist is charming in person. That's like number one in the list of grifter qualifications. I mean, right? Hitler was very charismatic. He had big crowds. That's what I'm saying, is just to normalize any step on the road to fascism is.
And again, I have to question whether or not someone like Bill Maher has been coerced into doing this, because, you can say a lot of terrible things about Bill Maher.
He's a self-important blowhard.
Yeah, well, obviously we all have our issues with Bill Maher, but I didn't think he was that easily suckered. He was absolutely suckered by an obvious con man. And what does that say about Bill Maher, that he was so willing to just accept that at face value and say, well, I think it's
ego. He compared it originally to Nixon going to China. I'm like, oh, Bill.
No, it's not that. It was an obvious con man putting on a show for Bill Maher so that he would go back. An obvious con man, by the way, who was, even at that point in time, declining in the polls rapidly, struggling to get anything through the courts. And so maybe, if I schmooze Bill Maher, then maybe he'll say some nice things about me, and that'll calm some people down.
Well,
maybe
right.
I'll win over some libertarians or something.
Yeah. Well, can I just say this one, Elle? One last one I got to read. I want to be clear about something. She says, you cannot ever, ever make too big a deal about the early signs of fascism. Allowing things to be not that bad is how you easily pave the way to that bad. Take your Nazi sympathizing elsewhere, or stop doing it. Thank you. I mean, if disappearing citizens without due process, deporting U.S. citizen babies with cancer isn't enough for you, I don't know what to say. Right?
Yeah. Purely in the politics and activist sense, I want to make sure I'm clear about that. No quarter for these people, and I'm talking including the people who have just routinely genuflected before Donald Trump. So the entire Trump regime right now is unforgivable. They've long since passed that Rubicon. They did it first term, passed that Rubicon, and so there's no justification whatsoever for trying to find some reason to forgive them, or find some way to let them off the hook. I can't imagine that. I can't imagine being that easily thrown off track.
Yeah, you can, because you're my superhero.
Yeah.
This was good for me. Was this good for you, despite all the creepy sexualizing of you?
Yes,
Did you?
always, always good. Where do I have a cigarette around here?
Yeah, I need to have. I don't even smoke. I just want one now. All right, love you,
Stop
Bob.
it.
I love you, Bob. Mwah. Goodbye.
Love you, Stephanie.
Bob
Bye-bye.
Seska Show.
Yay,
I never miss it. Sexyliberal.com. Mwah. I love you, Vibrants. Okay, tell me the truth. How many different beauty potions do you have sitting on your bathroom counter right now? If it's more than just Vibrant's Super C Serum, listen up. The ingredients in just this one bottle can replace your day creams, your eye creams, your night creams, neck creams, wrinkle creams, dark spot reducers, made right here in the US of A with the highest quality ingredients, including vitamin C, hyaluronic acid, vitamin B5, vitamin E, and Super C Serum delivers noticeable results. And I love that citrusy smell, and my skin feels fantastic. Simplify your skincare routine. Get a healthier complexion and minimize those wrinkles and dark age spots. It's all right in this one little magic bottle. If you don't find it better than your current skincare routine, you can get a full refund. Just go to Vibriance.com/Stephanie. You can save up to 37% and get free shipping. That's VIBRIANCE.com/Stephanie.